In this video, we are starting the proof of fundamental theorem of finite abelian groups. Theorem says that every finite abelian group is a direct product of cyclic groups of prime power order. For example, if order of G is 180, then 180 can be written as 2 square 3 square into 5. So there are 3 primes appearing in the order of G: 2, 3 and 5. So G can be the direct product of cyclic groups of order a power of 2, a power of 3 and a power of 5. Theorem further says that the number of terms in the product and the orders of the cyclic groups are uniquely determined by the group. For example, in this case, order of G is 180, so G would be the direct product of cyclic groups of a power of 2, 3 or 5. Now, the first case is this one. Here we have 3 terms in the direct product and the order of the cyclic groups are 4, 9 and 5. Second scenario is this, that G is the direct product of 4 terms and the orders are 2, 2, 9 and 5. Then again 4 terms and but orders are 4, 3, 3 and 5. And lastly, G can have 5 terms in the direct product and the orders are 2, 2, 3, 3 and 5. These are all the possible cases. This is what fundamental theorem says. Firstly, it says that every finite abelian group can be factored into direct product of cyclic groups of prime power order, and further the number of terms and the orders of the cyclic groups that depends on the group itself. The proof of the theorem is very lengthy, so we shall break the proof into 4 lemmas, and so we shall prove these 4 lemmas one by one. The first lemma says that if G is a finite abelian group of order p to the power n m, where p is a prime that does not divide m, then we can write G as the direct product of 2 subgroups H and K, where H consists of those elements of G which are killed by p to the power n, and K consists of those elements of G that are killed by m. Moreover, this lemma says that order of H is p to the power n, means this factor, and order of K is m, the remaining factor. Let us understand this with this example. Suppose order of G is 60. Now 60 is equal to 2 square into 3 into 5. Now if we write this number in this form, p to the power n m form, so let us write this way: 2 square into 15. So this is m and this is p to the power n. And notice that this p2 does not divide 15. So maximum power of 2 appearing in 60 is 2. Now this lemma says then that we can write G as direct product of H and K, where order of H would be 2 square and order of K will be 15, and also H will be this group, those X in G that are killed by 2 square. That means X to the power 4 is 1. Let us start proving the lemma. We first observe that H and K are subgroups of G. If X and Y are 2 elements in K, then by definition of K, X and Y are both killed by M. Now xy raised to power m becomes x to the power m into y raised to power m because G is abelian. So both xm and ym are 1, so this becomes 1. So xy is also killed by m, so that means xy is in k, and because k is finite, so that this shows that k is a subgroup of G. With the same reasoning, we can show that H is a subgroup of G. But G is abelian, so both H and K are normal subgroups of G. So to prove that G is the direct product of H and K, it is sufficient to prove that G is the product of H and K and the intersection of H and K is 1. We first show that G is the product of H and K. For this, we take an element X in G, and we shall show that X is the product of an element in H and an element in K. Now since P is not dividing M and P is a prime, so GCD of P and M is 1. And if GCD PM is 1, then GCD P to the power NM is also 1, again because P is prime. So this GCD is 1, therefore there exist integers S and T such that Sm plus P to the power Nt is 1. Now we consider x we can write down as x raised to power 1, but 1 now we can write down as Sm plus P to the power Nt. Now this we can write as a product of two elements, x raised to power Sm and x raised to power P to the power Nt. So x is written in the product of these two. We shall show that this element is in H and this element is in K, and that will show that X is the product of an element in H and an element in K. Now to show that this element is in H, we have to show that it is killed by P to the power n. So let us apply power P to the power n on this element. This becomes x to the power P to the power n into ms. This we can write down as x to the power P to the power nm and then raised to power s. But P to the power nm is simply the order of G, and we know that any element raised to power the order of G is 1, so this becomes 1. And so x to the power sm is killed by P to the power n, so it is an element of H. Similarly, if we apply power m to this element, we can show that it is 1, so this element is in K. And so x, which is the product of these two, it belongs to Hk, and this implies G is contained in Hk, but Hk is already contained in G, so G is exactly equal to the product of H and K. We now show that intersection of H and K is 1. So let us take an element in the intersection of H and K. Then x belongs to H as well as x belongs to K. Now if x belongs to H, then x will be killed by P to the power n, and if x belongs to K, then x will be killed by power m. And so order of x divides P to the power n, and also order of x divides m. This would imply that order of x divides their GCD, but their GCD is 1, and so x order of x divides 1, and that shows that x itself is identity element. So H intersection K contains only the identity, and hence G is the direct product of H and K. We finally prove that order of H is P to the power n and order of K is m. Now G is the product of H and K, so order of Hk is P to the power nm, but order of Hk is order of H order of K divided by order of H intersection K, so this is equal to P to the power nm. But because G is the direct product of H and K, so H intersection K is 1, so that means order of H into order of K is P to the power nm. Now we have to show that order of H is P to the power n and order of K is m. So to show that order of H is P to the power n and order of K is m, it is sufficient to show that order of H is P to the power n. That will automatically show that order of K is m. Now if P divides order of K, then by Cauchy's theorem, K will have an element of order P, say A. So A will be killed by P, A to the power P is 1. But because A is in K, so A to the power M is also 1. So A is killed by any other integer, so its order will divide M. So P divides M, which is not so. And so P prime is dividing only the order of H. And so all powers of P, that means maximum power P to the power N, divides order of H. We have to show that order of H is exactly P to the power N. So for this we will show that no factor of M divides order of H. That will show that order of H is exactly P to the power N. So let Q be a prime factor of M that divides order of H. Then again by Cauchy's theorem, H would have an element of order Q, say B. So B to the power Q is 1. Also B is an element of H, so B to the power P to the power N will be 1. And so B is killed by P to the power N, but order of B is Q, so Q divides P to the power N. And this is a contradiction because GCD of P to the power N and M is 1. If Q divides P to the power N, Q is already dividing M, so that will show that their GCD is bigger than 1, which is not so. So no prime factor of M divides H, and so order of H is exactly P to the power N, and hence order of K is also M. This is a very important remark because it will reduce our effort to prove the fundamental theorem. We have proved that if order of G is P to the power N M, then we can write G as the direct product of H and K, where order of H is P to the power N and order of K is M. Now let us further break M in this standard form. So suppose M is Q to the power AT. So order of K is Q raised to power AT, where Q is a prime and Q does not divide T. Using similar arguments as before, we can prove that K is also the direct product of two groups L and M, where order of L is Q to the power A and order of M is T. So now we have order of G equal to P to the power N into M. M is now replaced by Q to the power AT. So G is the direct product of H and K, but K is now replaced by L and M. So G is direct product of these three groups H, L and M, where order of H is P to the power N, order of L is Q to the power A and order of M is T. So continuously repeating this argument, we can prove that if order of G is of this form, P1 raised to power N1, P2 raised to power N2 and Pk raised to power Nk, where Pi are distinct primes, then we can write G as the direct product of GP1, GP2, GPk, where order of each GPI is x p to the power ni, and GPI is the group of those elements of G which are killed by p to the power ni. So we can write G as the direct product of these groups GP1, GP2, GPk, and each GPI is a group of prime power order Pi raised to power ni. So to prove the fundamental theorem,